Tonight, day 114 of the writer's strike, a potential setback in negotiations as the WGA slams the studio's latest counteroffer and their negotiating tactics. All this as the actor's strike drags on to day 41.
With more from the picket lines, we're joined by entertainment attorney and freelance journalist Jonathan Handel. Jonathan, as always, nice to have you. Let's start with the really what you deem as a pretty significant setback when it comes to the studio's offer and the writers saying no thanks.
Well, the fact that they made this offer, public at this point itself is a skunk at the party, because it's not only a PR move, it's also apparently an attempt to influence the writer's rank and file. And going around negotiators like that is not permitted under the National Labor Relations Act and NLRB precedent, the federal board that governs this sort of stuff. So, that's a no-no. The fact that this offer was made on August 11th, but then was revealed publicly yesterday, suggests that there's been no progress in 11 days of negotiation. That doesn't make anyone very happy. And then I took a look at it, and among other things, we have on residuals that the studios are proposing to make data available but not pay against it, so that the writers can make a future proposal. In other words, come back in 3 years when we don't have these annoying double strikes and when you don't really have much leverage, and then we'll laugh at you. I mean, it's,
They tried to sneak the residuals element in.
They tried to sneak in. They said, well, we'll show you some data. And, on the other things, we start to get in the weeds, but this is what the studios aren't getting is that, first of all, why did it take 100 days for the studio CEOs to get involved and actually start real negotiations? And, I mean, you just want to let the strike drag on until the end of the next century otherwise. And why is it that we're still seeing an offer with some portions of which I think are movement, but other portions of which really are laughable in some cases?
So where do we go from here? Because we had these solidarity rallies this week.
That's right.
We saw a West Wing reunion, which was exciting for me. We saw Kerry Washington, other folks out there on the picket lines, which is all great, but they all would rather be working.
Right.
Is this making any difference?
Boy, I think what the lesson the CEOs have to get from this is that these unions are standing strong and they'll negotiate, but they're not going to negotiate excessively and fall for some of this stuff. It wouldn't surprise me if they turned to SAG-AFTRA now and tried to negotiate with them, since they're obviously deadlocked with the Writers Guild at this point. But I don't think that they're going to find anyone buying, playing three-card Monte and buying plugged nickels at the Screen Actors Guild either. It's going to be, a real cold water in the face lesson here. Well, and go ahead.
But it could turn out to be, and we have less than a minute now, even if they do reach a deal, say tomorrow, we're nearing the end of August, it's
right.
going to be when until production would resume? You say not until 2024?
Not normal levels of production, because you're talking about a 3 to 4 week ratification period for each union once a deal's reached. And with SAG-AFTRA, they've got 70-page interim agreements, which means a lot to negotiate over in addition to those roadblock issues. And then beyond that, you've got the fall holidays, and you also will have a lot of productions fighting for access to stars. No, it isn't my schedule, but my schedule was earlier, but they're delayed because of the strike. Sound stages, locations, crews, on and on. And so, when will everyone be working in a normal way? If they made a deal today, you wouldn't have normal levels of production complete until January, I don't think.
Wow. Well, we got the skunk at the party and three-card Monte.
Yeah.
So well done.
Full of sound bites tonight.
Well done,
Jonathan
Handel. Great to see you. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you.